Since the late 1950s, Woodford Cedar Run Wildlife Refuge has been caring for injured and orphaned animals. Annually, around 4,000 individual animals come into care.
Cedar Run has 3 different goals. We function as a nature center, also as a wildlife rehabilitation center. So one of our goals is public education. So we bring in a lot of school students as well as adults every year, and we have educational programs for them to learn about native wildlife, learn about the pinelands, and sort of educate them about how to conserve those areas and the wildlife in them, how to live together. We also try to preserve the habitat that we have here. We have about 170 acres that's preserved under the Green Acres initiative, so we preserve the land that we're on. And we also function as a wildlife rehabilitation center. We take in over 4,000 animals every year, give or take, depending on the year. And we take in injured and orphaned animals, we rehabilitate them and release them back into the wild so that they can live out their life there. Cedar Run is a nonprofit organization, so we do not receive any government funding, state or federal. We run off of mostly donations, and we do get different grants every year to help fund different things, whether it's our education programs or it's wildlife rehabilitation. But mostly we are donation based, and our hospital runs on all donations. We get, mostly we run off of monetary donations. Usually when animals come into the hospital, we do ask for a donation since we're a nonprofit. So they will give money towards that animal. People can mail in just general donations that can go to just the whole facility. But we also get donations of goods, so we'll have wish lists where people can go on and see what our vital needs are for the hospital or for the grounds or for our education program, and that way they can give an actual product or something to us that we need at that time. But we, monetary donations go a long way because especially the hospital, we need to buy a lot of food, formula, medical supplies that people can't donate to us because we get them from specific sources. So, but mostly we run off of monetary donations. We probably have about 50 or 60 volunteers, but we do also take a lot of interns to help us out. They're more highly trained than our volunteers. So we try to get a lot of those in to give them the experience that they need. Most of them are going to go on to vet school or something like that. Our rehabilitation hospital takes in all native wildlife to New Jersey. The only ones that we're not permitted to rehabilitate are reptiles and bats, but we do take them in, triage them, and transfer them to a permitted facility. So I guess really we take in all native wildlife to New Jersey, but those are the only 2 that we don't keep long term. So we take in all types of songbirds, raptors, small mammals such as squirrels, possums, large mammals like raccoons and foxes, groundhogs. Animals come in either if they're injured or orphaned, so we get a lot of injured adults. There's a lot of human interaction that causes these problems, such as being hit by a car or running into a house, or people finding animals that are caught in nets, soccer nets, things like that. But then there's also orphaned animals that people find in, just in their backyard. It could be baby squirrels, it could be baby birds. We get a lot of those, but we do try to counsel people on how to re-nest them and get them back with their mother, because wild mothers are actually very good and very committed. So there's always a good chance that she's going to come back for them. But a lot of times, they do have to come in here, whether the mother was killed or injured or something like that, or if they were injured due to someone's pet. So we get a lot in for that reason also. The intake process for animals at Cedar Run, once we take them from the person that brought them to us, obviously they'll fill out a form. Each animal is given a case number, and that case number will follow them throughout their time here at Cedar Run so that we can track what's going on, because we do report all of our all of our data to the state and to the federal government at the end of the year. And then when they come in, we give them a little bit of time to de-stress, because the interaction with people, the injury, whatever it may be, can be extremely stressful for them, and stress in a wild animal can be deadly. So we give them a little bit of time to calm down when they get here. And then the staff member will do an intake exam where we'll, examine head to toe pretty much everything on the animal to try to find out what injury is going on. Try to not focus too much on the injury that's obvious. If a bird comes in with a broken wing, you'll see that right away, but you don't want to miss other things. So you try to do a full exam on the whole body when they come in. And then from there, we'll decide what medications they need to be on, what feeding schedule and everything. The rehabilitation process is sort of different by species. Each species is going to stay here a different amount of time depending on how much care they need. So it's hard to generalize, but generally we try to get animals started on fluids because they all come in dehydrated. The stress can just dehydrate them. You don't know if it's been days since a red-tailed hawk has eaten. So always fluids is the first option. Then if they need medication, we would administer that on a daily basis until they were finished. If they need veterinary care, we do have a vet that does pro bono work for us if they need surgery, x-rays or things like that. And then they would stay in the hospital until they were either well enough or old enough to be moved outside. They would go out to outdoor enclosures where they'll get the exercise they need. They'll have more time if they're babies to detach from people as much as possible, become as wild as they need to be released. And then from there they would get released. But if in the case of, say, a raptor, they would move from different levels of flight cages so that we can make sure they have proper flight before they leave, or that they can hunt before they leave.
Of the countless animals taken in by Cedar Run, dozens upon dozens are baby squirrels. Baby squirrels, along with most other baby animals, are usually taken into care because they are orphaned. Each baby squirrel needs to be bottle fed 4 to 5 times per day until it is old enough to be released.
A good idea of when an animal is ready to be released is when they really don't like us. Most of them come in already not liking us, which we love because that means they're wild. But as far as babies go, they have less fear when they come in of humans than we would like because they're young and they don't quite know that yet. But as they get older, they definitely hit a point where they don't like us at all. But they need to be on a full adult diet. They need to have the proper fear of humans. They need to be able to climb and maneuver in the natural way for that species. So we really need to consider the natural history of the species to determine, what stage they're ready to be released, because we need to make sure that they're going to be able to survive without us once they go out there. The most rewarding part is definitely the release. You get in a lot of really debilitated animals, whether they're babies that are extremely dehydrated because they haven't seen mom for a couple days, or red-tailed hawk, great horned owl that can't even stand when he comes in, and you wonder if they're going to make it. And you put months and months of work into them, and a lot of sweat and tears for some of them, but taking them to release them, when you see them extremely happy to be rid of you, it's a really, really good feeling, and it's something that you'll never find anywhere else. To know that you help that animal progress from almost death to being able to get back out there to maintain a healthy population of these animals. So it is a really heartwarming feeling to see them go, even though they don't like us. The process for releasing an animal is pretty easy. We catch them up out there, which is a lot harder than it sounds because, again, they don't like us and they're very quick. But once we get them, we usually give them to one of our volunteers, or one of our staff members takes them. We do have certain sites that we know that are good release sites for the animals. We try to not overpopulate areas, but certain sort of landscapes are essential for different animals. Raccoons, we want to be near a source of water, or if it's a bird of prey, you want to know that they're in a place that's going to have a good food source for them. So we try to find places that have the proper plant life that's needed for herbivores and things like that. But usually one of our volunteers or staff will take them and release them, and usually they're very happy to see us be gone.
At Cedar Run, animals are ensured the best care they can get to make a full recovery back into the wild. By releasing so many animals back into nature, Cedar Run's Wildlife Hospital assists in maintaining a healthy population of animals in the New Jersey Pinelands.